ladies and gentlemen of America. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Welcome to The Late Show. I usually say those in the opposite order, but tonight, there are no rules. You know, if you follow the news, and I don't recommend it, it feels like we're in a sort of a tense waiting period right now, especially in New York, where people are always prepared for something big and unpleasant to drop. Of course, I'm talking about the MTA has announced they're going to officially ban pooping in subways and buses. Don't worry, yellow cabs, your back seats will remain a lawless swamp of human fluids. Now, if you've ever been to New York, and I recommend it, you know this city was built on subway excretion. It's the perfect way to cap a long day of subway masturbation. And up till now, it was never officially banned. But now the MTA rules will specifically add defecating to the list of prohibited bodily expulsions. Wow! It made the list. Big week. It also just made Forbes 30 bodily functions under 30. So why now? Well, an MTA official explained rules are periodically tweaked to enhance clarity. And that's the case with the addition of more descriptive language. Okay, but it really sounds like MTA employees were sick of hearing people say, "You show me where in this rule book it says I can't poop." Also, can I have a couple pages of that rule book and soften them up first? Now, it seems insane that we'd have to make an official rule against taking the choo-choo to Browntown. But I actually think it's necessary because all the things we used to just think were common decency are now up for debate. So places like the MTA have to clarify that there's no gray area. By the way, if the area is gray, see your doctor. I think we need no pooping rules for lots of stuff people used to know was just plain wrong. Like saying that if the Russians came to you with dirt on your political opponent, you would listen, or using military police to gas peaceful protesters, or publicly horning after your own daughter. We've reached the point where the MTA needs to make a sign for the Oval Office. Because right now, with the election already underway, Trump and Mitch McConnell are about to drop trowel and unload a steaming nominee on the Supreme Court. Because yesterday, Trump told reporters that he's going to announce his pick at 5 p.m. on Saturday. He explained on Monday to his Fox and friends that waiting until the weekend was just the respectful thing to do.
I think it'll be on Friday or Saturday, and we want to pay respect. It looks like we will have probably services on Thursday or Friday, as I understand it. And I think, due respect, we should wait till the services are over for Justice Ginsburg.
Yes, they're honoring the Jewish tradition of waiting 8 days before undermining everything someone worked a lifetime to achieve. Now, but behind the scenes, seems like Trump is ecstatic. His campaign team thinks it will take the nation's attention away from the coronavirus outbreak. Sure, nothing gets people's minds off the pandemic like the death of a beloved grandmother. Now, Politico interviewed Trump aides about the issue, and while they were careful to avoid appearing as if they were celebrating the death of Justice Ginsburg, one called it super. Another said, "This is Republican gold." You know, the Trump team makes great condolence cards. "I'm sorry for your loss, but happy for my win. It's super that your Gramps died. Gold, gold, and gold. With the election bearing down on us, Trump is screaming a lot in several different places. Yesterday, he brought the Rolling Spittle Review to Pittsburgh. But before leaving Washington, he paused briefly to record tonight's episode of Chopper Talk. Trump gave reporters a sneak preview of what he wouldn't be talking about.
Why haven't you said anything about the U.S. hitting 200,000 deaths?
Go ahead. Anybody else?
Anybody else? Yes. In fact, models predict about 150,000 more people by the end of the year. He has nothing to say about 200,000 people dying on his watch. What a profile in courage. It reminds me of Kennedy's stirring words.
Ask not.
Trump then departed for Pittsburgh, where he talked about his relationship with his beloved Melania.
Last night, now, I went home, and I tell you this, I go home all the time. First lady, how'd you like the crowd? Sir, I didn't see it.
You call your wife First Lady, and she calls you Sir? What is that, some sort of sexy role-playing where she gets turned on by the idea that she doesn't know you? Trump continued with his heartwarming story of marital bliss.
Sometimes she'll call me Mr. President, but she's only kidding, believe me. She's only kidding.
And sometimes she says, I love you, and we both have a huge laugh. Then Trump brought back his racist rebrand of the coronavirus.
And to fight the China virus, it's the China virus, not the coronavirus. Corona sounds like a place in Italy, a beautiful place. It's Corona. No, it's the China virus. Coronavirus, doesn't it sound like Italy? A beautiful villa, you have a beautiful Corona.
Yeah, but that's because it's Latin. It makes every disease sound like it's Italian. Hey, Antonio, table 3 wants an order of rubella con E. coli with some shaved influenza. That's a spicy gonorrhea. Trump also took a detour to Sports Metaphor Corner.
If I weren't president, you know the pressure. Your Second Amendment would be obliterated. It would maybe be gone, but at a minimum, obliterated. They haven't touched your Second Amendment, not even touched it, because I'm here to block. I'm a blocking force. I'm like a lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Trump's exactly like a lineman. He eats 15,000 calories a day and pretty sure he has brain damage. Trump then turned to the greatest Antifa weapon yet, groceries.
They go out and buy tuna fish and soup. You know that, right? Because they throw it. They throw it. It's the perfect weight. Tuna fish, they could really rip it, right? And that hits you. No, it's true. Bumblebee, brand tuna.
Okay, that is a blatant lie. Everyone knows the official tuna of Antifa is anarchist. Sorry, Charlie, we believe in nothing. Now, there have been no reports in the media about any police being hit with canned tuna, but that did not stop Trump from continuing with his fishy fantasy.
They get caught. They're walking up there like 30 cans of soup. They have like 25 cans of tuna. They get caught. I'm bringing this home to my family. How dare you stop me? No, no, no. They use it as ammunition. It's terrible.
Oh, it's such a clever plan. They're out there with the tuna and the canned soup. And then when I hit him with the heat ray, boom, casserole. It's devious and delicious. Well, as we just learned this afternoon, it looks like the protests in the streets aren't going to be dying down anytime soon, especially in Louisville, Kentucky, where today a grand jury did not charge police officers for killing Breonna Taylor. Now, regardless of whatever the grand jury considered in this particular case, this was an innocent woman sleeping in her own bed, shot dead by police. It does not seem like too much to ask for someone to be held responsible. And I think it's safe to say race relations in America continue to be troubled. And while that's been going on for a long time, our current president has spent most of his presidency publicly inflaming them. And that's probably no accident, because today, the Washington Post dropped a new story about how racist Donald Trump is in private. The article quotes current and former Trump officials who say that privately, President Trump has maintained that black Americans have mainly themselves to blame in their struggle for equality, hindered more by lack of initiative than societal impediments. That's a pretty roundabout and flowery way of just saying that he's America's racist uncle. Black people hold themselves back. Why didn't the Central Park Five run a full-page ad in the New York Times saying that I should be executed? It's sad, really. And his racism goes beyond African Americans. It goes all the way to African Africans. Reportedly, when First Lady Melania Trump planned a trip to Africa, he railed that he could never understand why she would want to go there. Ooh, I'd like to solve the puzzle, because it's very far away from you. Now, as he is fond of pointing out, Trump did enact criminal justice reform, but sources in this story say he did it to get support from the African-American community. And when that failed to materialize, Trump went house crazy. One former official said, yelling at aides, "Why the hell did I do that?" Yes, he went house crazy, and not in the way he normally does, by tweeting from the toilet. And don't worry, other ethnic groups, you're not left out. Trump brought enough hate for the whole class. Reportedly, after phone calls with Jewish lawmakers, Trump has muttered that Jews, quote, are only in it for themselves and stick together. Donald Trump saying you're only in it for yourself is like Jeffrey Dahmer telling you to be a vegan. Some former senior White House officials rushed to Trump's defense, saying, this is a guy who abuses people in his cabinet, abuses four-star generals, abuses people who gave their life for this country, abuses civil servants. It's not like he doesn't abuse people that are white as well. Ah, yes, the classic defense, No lives matter. And insiders argue that all presidents have had problematic views on race. One former official said Woodrow Wilson was outwardly a white supremacist. I don't think Trump is as bad as Wilson, but he might be. Not as bad as Wilson, but he might be. Which coincidentally is the same thing the doctor said about Trump's brain, but they meant the volleyball. So, the jury of his peers is in. Trump's a racist. Every day we get more horrible news. And if you're like me, you try to escape at night by curling up with a good book, which you then rest on your stomach while you spend 2 hours strolling through Twitter for more horrible news. And now there's a word for this self-inflicted misery. It's called doom scrolling. It's the perfect name. The internet is 99% doom. The only non-doom content I take in is this Instagram account of a dog and a duck who are best friends. And I just heard the duck is an anti-vaxxer. Evidently, doom scrolling is really bad for us. Experts say spending too much time on social media can be damaging to your mental health, especially when you consume too much negative news. Okay, that's good to know. But I will point out that my doom scrolling is the only reason I found out how bad my doom scrolling is. Doom scrolling is so prevalent now that it was named one of Merriam-Webster's words we're watching, and Dictionary.com named it one of the new words we created because of coronavirus. Those words will now replace the ones we're deleting because of coronavirus, such as diet, pants, and shower. So how do we break free of this addiction to bad news? According to clinical psychologists, some tricks to stop doom scrolling include don't use your phone as an alarm, opt out of news alerts, and replace your phone with something that brings you joy. Okay. Let me just put it on silent. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. This is iced tea. Who put iced tea in my liquor flask? Read my contract.
I'm aware.
We have a great show for you tonight. Jeff Daniels is here, but when we return, someone's getting in trouble for putting iced tea in my liquor flask. Also, there's a new COVID test. Stick around. I'm not joking. Who put iced tea in here?